Martin Plout now, who is joining us from London to talk more about this. He is an Africa analyst at the Institute of Commonwealth Studies. Good to have you with us. So first of all, what do you see? Do you see any prospects for a breakthrough with this latest round of talks?
I think it'll be extremely difficult. As you said, this is the first time that General Burhan has left Sudan. He was effectively trapped in the army headquarters in Khartoum and only managed to get out last week in a carefully orchestrated maneuver. He then went up to Port Sudan, where he met troops that are supportive of him and got a very strong reception. And he's now beginning this tour of his supporters in the outside world, of which Egypt is, of course, by far and away the most important. And he may then go on to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit more about Egypt then. What does Egypt bring to these talks as a mediator?
Well, I mean, the links between Sudan and Egypt go back to, shall we say, 3000 BC. I mean, they are very deep, very long held, and particularly for people who live in the center of Sudan along the Nile, they see themselves, in a sense, as cousins of the Egyptians. There are 5 million, at least 5 million Sudanese living in Egypt. They have a very strong presence there. Sometimes they're not well treated, but generally they have a good relationship with them. And Burhan will be looking for assistance to try and head off General Hemeti, who is the RSF, the Regional Support Forces, he's been fighting since April this year. And that is going to be his major issue. Can he get support from the outside world? Can he get the arms that he needs and the financial support to match those of Hemeti?
And how much more important does it get for Egypt to find a solution to this the longer it goes on, because of the spillover effect that this conflict in Sudan is having?
Absolutely. And that is one of the big issues for the Egyptians. They want to have a southern border which is, shall we say, quieter. They don't want people pouring over the border. They need to feed them, look after them, make sure that they're okay. But there's also the issue of the relationship with countries like Libya. Meti is linked to Libya. He's linked through Libya to the Wagner Group and Russia, and that is very worrying for the Egyptians and for more conservative countries like Saudi Arabia. So there's a whole balance of power right across the region and across the Sahel that is at stake here. Now, will all of this be discussed? Will it all be resolved? Highly unlikely. Of course, from Egypt's point of view, they're also worried about the Nile, because you have Ethiopia has put a dam on the Blue Nile, the Grand Renaissance Dam, and that is, an issue. The Egyptians say we're worried about our water supplies. More than 90% of its water comes from the Nile. It can't do without it. So is there anything that Sudan can do to assist them in their negotiations with Ethiopia? Probably not, but they can give it a try. They've been trying for years now to get that resolved. It's not happened, but nonetheless, it is definitely on the agenda.
Good to talk to you, Martin Plout in London. Thank you.